All right, welcome to a PWHL doubleheader. This was not supposed to be a doubleheader today. It was supposed to be one game. Chicago-Toronto was supposed to be one game, but it got switched to a doubleheader after we moved Boston, Minnesota from yesterday due to the USA-Belgium game, which we lost 4-1. Unfortunate, but whatever, it is what it is. So, we are running a little bit late, so we can't really do a lot of storylines, but I will say Chicago made a trade as of the recording of this video. They traded Emil Heineman to Boston for Bobby Brink. Brink is not available today while the trade processes. He will be available starting tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see what Chicago does going into the Minnesota game. No changes for Toronto. Puck is down. It is 5:39, so a little bit later today. Fedotov will send it across. Kucherov fires off the bar. First shot of the game hits the bar. This is going to be a fast-paced game, I can already tell. Face-off won by the Railers, who are wearing their white jerseys today as the visiting team. Toronto in Arctic blue again at home. Here's Pinelli. He fires on. He might have hit the post. Couple of close calls, one on each end. Morozhnichenko swing and a miss. He now just wrists it on, and a save by Murray. Rebound, 2 saves. First 2 shots of the game come about a half a minute in. Norris on. Fedotov made the save. Oh, almost an own goal. That would have counted. Kucherov across to Morozhnichenko. Now back to Kucherov. He'll fire blocked, and I think he also hit his own guy, Nelson, in the process. We'll keep an eye on that throughout this game. He'll set it up and face it off. Zizekas will send it over. Pinelli to the middle. Norris will fire on right into Fedotov's chest. But the puck winds up on the line as won by the Railers. Pinelli up to Norris. He'll drop it back to Pinelli. He'll go across. Zizekas a shot. That's denied. Sat on the line again. Now here's Pinelli. He'll go back to the middle. Norris back to Pinelli. He'll fire on. Fedotov was there for the easy save. Morozhnichenko skates out with it. He's trying to tap it over to Kucherov, but instead he taps it away. Norris leaves it for Zizekas. It comes back to Norris. Now Zizekas will fire in a save, again by Fedotov. Morozhnichenko to Kucherov. Back to Morozhnichenko will fire on and a stop by Murray. Zizekas will try to go to Pinelli. It comes back to Zizekas, missed the net, and it wound up in the bench. Man, a lot of players are getting a lot more creative with passing. I like to see that in this league. Shot totals aren't astronomically high. Kucherov fires on and a save. Comes back to the Huskies, Fedotov. Plays it up to Nelson. He fires on and a save again. How did that bounce out of bounds? I need to know. Shots are even at 5-5, nearing the 2-minute mark of this first period here in Toronto. The face-off won to Kucherov. He'll go across from Morozhnichenko. Comes back to Kucherov. And now they'll pass it around some more. Nelson will fire on a stop by Murray. Pass off, it's a turnover. Nelson, back to Kucherov. Fires on, and it's blocked by Norris, who now has the puck. Tried to get it back to Zizekas, missed him. Gives it back to his goalie, now Norris. They keep one-touching the puck. They need to stop doing that. Norris leaves it for Pinelli. He fires on and a save. I feel like shot totals are just naturally lower in this new sport. After we change the rules, all you need is one completed pass and you're good to go. Here's Kucherov trying to get it to Nelson, and he does. Nelson will make a move. He'll make another move and fire on, and a save by Matt Murray. And it's sent across. It's a turnover. Across, Zizekas fires on, and another save by Ivan Fedotov. 7-7 of the shots at the halfway mark of the period. They'll go across to Kucherov. To the middle, Nelson. Back to Kucherov. He'll fire on a save again and another one-shot possession. Left for Norris. Drop back Pinelli. Fires on. That one hit the side of the net, they say. Morozhnichenko goes back for it. And now he threw it away to the Railers. Zizekas will ring it around. Far side, Pinelli has it back from Norris. He goes to the middle and a save by Fedotov, and it winds up in the net on the bounce. It's not a goal. Again, 8-8 are the shots. They are low. I think we really might have found our degree of we are probably as close to realistic as possible in the Lego game in terms of shot totals and scoring. Miroshnichenko hit the post. The second close call hit the post for the Huskies. A couple of close calls for Toronto. We'll face it off near side. Face-off won by the Huskies. Kucherov, whoa, nearly put in his own net, but Fedotov knocked it away at the last minute. Miroshnichenko, great pass to Nelson, and he scores! The Huskies open the scoring with 1:55 to go in the first. Brock Nelson got a great pass from Ivan Miroshnichenko. Not much Murray could do. And Pinelli taps it onto the line. They win the puck back anyway. Norris drops it back to Pinelli and a save by Fedotov. He's got it now, passes it up. Kucherov, a shot denied by Murray. If you're Chicago, I wouldn't be discouraged by that. Toronto's a very good team. They're off of a loss, yes. And you're off of a win, yes. But Toronto is still very scary. They can do anything and win at any time. Bad turnover. Pinelli, back to his goalie Murray. Tried to get it to Norris. Tap to Pinelli and a shot saved. Rebound Cizikas, a second save by Fedotov. Now Norris turns and fires. He's blocked and he's offside. Chicago touches up. 11-10 Railers are the shots. Haven't had a lot of quick rebound chances. Face-off one to the Huskies. Nelson will fire on. It's blocked by Norris. He goes and a save again. Goes into the corner. Pinelli will look. He'll look. He'll look. He'll fire and a save again. 13-10 are the shots for the Railers, 111 for the period. And did we seriously just have a clock malfunction? Oh my god, the period was going so well and now we have to go to a clock review. Unbelievable. Alright, we have fixed the clock. It was 1:10. It was supposed to be stopped at 1:17. Well, it was stopped at 1:17, but inexplicably, we let the clock run down an extra 7 seconds before the next face-off. So that has now been fixed. We're good to go for the back end of the period. Fedotov taps it into the corner. Here's Miroshnichenko. Tried to pass it up to Nelson, but he missed him. And then Kucherov turned it over. Cizikas will fire on and a save. And how did that bounce in? Fedotov had all the time in the world to stop that puck from rolling into the net and causing a stoppage. But he didn't, so we had to stop the play. It's one of the Huskies. Nelson drops back. Kucherov fires on. Murray got a piece. Into the corner. Pinelli plays it up to Norris. Drops it back. Pinelli still has it. Now gave it to Norris. He'll fire on over the net. We got to a point where it was caught in a fan's seat. So they just had to fix it and get it out of there. One to Cizikas. He'll pass it up to Norris. It's Pinelli. Across, Cizikas will fire and a save by Fedotov. They get it back. Pinelli fires, stopped. Rebound goes to Norris. He missed the net. And they're saying it went out of bounds. They let the clock run a little bit. They're just going to face it off. They don't even care anymore. To the middle. Nelson, a shot denied. And what do you know? It went out of bounds again. 29 seconds left in the period. The shots are 16-12 Railers. Cizikas across. Pinelli fires on and a stop by Fedotov. Now Kucherov gets it up to Nelson. Comes back to Kucherov. He'll fire on and he hit the bar. Rebound comes back to Miroshnichenko. He fires and a save again by Murray. And what do you know? It went out of bounds. It always goes out of bounds. Every shot that's not a goal is out of bounds. We need to find a way to not let out of bounds be such a deterring factor in games. Kucherov across, Miroshnichenko, what do you know? Out of bounds. That's like 4 out of bounds plays in a row. Face off one to the corner. Cizikas wraps it around perfectly to Pinelli. He fires on and a save. Rebound, and what do you know? Out of bounds with less than a second left. It doesn't even matter. But they stop the clock and they have to face it off one more time before the period comes to an end. Like, it's not even going to make a difference. They're going to start the clock and they're not even going to have enough time to do the face-off because they always start the clock first. See? Not even enough time to do anything. And the buzzer was muted again. We'll be back. We're back for the start of the second period. 18,742 is the attendance here. So very close to a sellout. Toronto has consistently been one of the top teams in attendance, averaging, over 18,000 a game. In fact, I have the official data. If I just go ahead and input this real quick, 18,742. They're averaging about 18,714 fans a game. They are consistently above 18,000, so that's great for them. What's even better is the start of the second period, almost an offside off the bat for Norris. Miroshnichenko to Nelson, a shot, save, rebound, blocked. I don't know what that was from Kucherov. As a back and he turned it over. Pass to Pinelli and a save. Now across, Kucherov, okay, the game is starting to speed up a bit. Whoa, okay, there's a lot going on. And a turnover to the middle, and it's another turnover. And offside! What just happened? Nelson flipped. He flipped over as he went for the puck. I think he was going to try and tap it to Miroshnichenko. That was probably the funniest sequence of the season. Add on my commentary. Okay, I need a minute. Whew. Okay, let's resume. No, I can't. Edit that out. Edit that out. Okay, here we go. Let's resume the second period. The face-off is won to Cizikas. He'll send it across to Pinelli beautifully, and he scores! A beautiful shot by Francesco Pinelli off the post, and we're tied. A great face-off win and an even better pass, and the game is tied at 1. Great execution by the Railers. It really proves that anybody in this league can beat anyone. We know Boston beat Toronto on Sunday, and right now Chicago is still in this. Face-off is won to Miroshnichenko. He'll fire on and a save. Railers get the puck. Oh, Norris put it on the line. Now he won the puck. Back to Cizikas. He'll fire on. He missed the net. He'll go in behind the net for it, and for the first time, somebody's just going to sit back there and let themselves reset. Nobody did that in the first period. And turnover. Nelson, drop back Kucherov. Across, Miroshnichenko fires on. Murray made the easy save. Now in behind is Cizikas. Cizikas plays it up. It's another turnover. To the middle, Nelson. Back to Miroshnichenko and a shot denied. Norris taps it over. Cizikas on and a stop, and it wound up in off the bounce barely. Let's see if Murray can dig it out of there on his own without me pulling the net out. Nope, he's stuck, so I have to do it. He tried. But ultimately, I had to. Chicago wins the line battle. Great pass again to Pinelli. He got a really nice setup. He probably should have taken the instant rebound shot. But now because he turned it over. Kucherov threw it away. Pinelli across. Greatly to Cizikas. Not even close. He duffed it. And now Miroshnichenko to the middle of Nelson. He'll fire on. Hit the post. Here's Cizikas. He's having a lot of trouble with the puck. Now finally gets it to Norris, who fires, and it's blocked. Out of bounds by Nelson. Casey Cizikas was having a lot of trouble with the puck there. Face-off one to the Huskies. Fedotov over to Miroshnichenko. Back across to Kucherov. A save. Got the rebound, and he hit the post. And how did that go out of bounds? It wasn't even level with the top of the boards. We need to find a way to not let out of bounds be a factor. Maybe running clock, but only on plays where the puck is near or on the rink. Kucherov a save. We'll think about that for next season. There's a turnover. Drop back pass to Pinelli. To Norris. Now to Cizikas. He nearly threw it away. Now he did throw it away, but then they threw it back. Tap to Norris. Back to Cizikas. He'll shoot out of bounds. He lifted it over. That was an ugly sequence. Cizikas, a near turnover, a real turnover, and then a bad shot. A horrible shot. Horribly over, as Ian Crocker would say from the World Cup. Kucherov a save. Miroshnichenko rebound, score! The Huskies back to the front. A great rebound chance. Murray just couldn't get back in time. It's one to the Railers. Pinelli. It came back to him. He'll take the shot. Save. Rebound. 2 saves by Fedotov. Now Nelson will shoot. Murray made the stop. Again, if you're Chicago, don't panic. You've been in this spot once already this game and you've responded. Pinelli. We'll play it out to Norris, back to Pinelli. He'll fire on a save. He's swung and missed on the rebound chance. Now Norris took it and it's blocked. Drop back. Kucherov fires, save. He will go back for it and just calmly play it out. Now it goes across Miroshnichenko. Here is Nelson. He missed the net. And now here is Cizikas. He'll shoot, save, and out again. Because why not? They'll face it off along the near side. 2:03 for the period. Pinelli across, it bounced away. Great pass. Miroshnichenko, it took a bounce and went wide. That one ended up hitting Murray, and they'll leave it for him. Murray to Norris. Across Cizikas. He'll fire a save. Now Fedotov plays it up to Kucherov. Across to Miroshnichenko. He plays it off the boards and a stop. Puck wound up on the line. Now it goes to Nelson. Kucherov. Back to Nelson. He'll fire Murray. Stopped him again. Down to around a minute and a half to go. The shots are 28-26 Railers. Pinelli's having trouble holding on to the puck, and now he threw it away. And now it bounced off of Nelson in a way. And now it bounced off of Norris in a way. Here is Nelson, a shot. Murray made the stop again. Up ahead, Pinelli scores! Like I said, don't panic. We're tied. Francesco Pinelli's got 2 goals in the game. The Railers tied at 2 with 1:19 to go here in the second. It's 1 to the Huskies. Miroshnichenko taps it to Nelson. He fires on. Murray stopped him again. Pinelli, he'll try again, and this time he missed the net. He'll send it across to Cizikas now. Norris sent it back to him. Turned it over. Kucherov a save. Wound up in the bench. Shots are even at 29. It's 1 to the Railers. Across to Cizikas. He'll fire and there's a save. Did that hit the camera? That might have hit the camera. Because it went straight up in the air. That might have ricocheted off the camera. Wow. That's not often where the puck hits my T7 that I filmed this with. Tap to the middle. Save. Nelson rebound, a second save. Dropped it back to Kucherov and a third save. Now Pinelli fires a stop. And it's sitting on the line, and it is won by Pinelli. Pinelli taps it to Norris. He's got some space. And he took the shot denied again by Fedotov as it winds up in the bench. Shots are even at 32. With 40 seconds to go in the second. Puck is on the line. It's won by the Railers. Pinelli across. Greatly to Cizikas. What was that? Now Norris tries in a save. Great pass. Norris will play it up and a stop again and again. These periods take so long because the puck goes out every other play. Vindication. Oh my God. I rest my case. Finally, it didn't go out. Watch this. This shot's going to go out. No, it got blocked. Miroshnichenko goes across to Kucherov. They're calling that a pass completion, which is kind of interesting. That's 2 saves. Pinelli will send it across to Cizikas. Now to Norris. He'll shoot wide. And now they'll play it out. Kucherov. It's on the line, and they say offside. And they're so mad. Norris is not happy with the call, but he got caught offside. Oh boy, he's getting himself into some trouble now. He's not very happy with the call. Is he going to throw the puck? No, he's just putting it on the dot. Man, he's got to be careful. Next time he gets upset about a call, we could be talking about unsportsmanlike conduct. The face-off won, and they don't have enough time, and he shot it after the play. And now, oh my goodness, Kucherov, what are you doing? Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Oh boy. Everybody's in on the action, but not a whole lot of, punches being thrown, just some pushing and shoving, and eventually they do break it up. Oh, Kucherov hit him twice. That's gonna get him into some trouble with the league, I think. We're going to review in between periods to see if maybe he should get some discipline. They're sending both teams off. So they're kicking them off the ice for now. Go to your locker rooms. Yeah, okay, and they're sending the coaches and everybody off. Bye. So, okay. So, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a delay while we discuss this. Kucherov is probably going to get into some trouble for that. We'll be back. He hit Cizikas twice after he shot the puck after the play, which, number one, that's a penalty on Cizikas for shooting the puck after the play. So the first two are going to, that's a major on Kucherov. Like, he deliberately, he hit him twice. That's a major, and he should be out of the game. That would be huge for Toronto if he's done. We'll be right back. All right, so we come back. Kucherov was not ejected from the game. Rather, he was assessed a double minor for roughing. The precedent was really set. We've seen some similar hits like that were unintentional, and they were just called minor penalties. So that was just a double minor. Had he continued and injured Cizikas, by the way, Cizikas remarkably uninjured, I don't know how, then Kucherov probably would have got ejected. He would have got a major and a game misconduct. Now, speaking of Cizikas, he is in the box for shooting the puck after the play. That is 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct, or rather 30 seconds for unsportsmanlike conduct. So, we'll play 2-on-2 for the first 30 seconds. Then Chicago's going to get a power play after that. So, here we go. 2-on-2, we'll see how both teams handle it. Because it's even strength, it's not a penalty kill. Kucherov fires on a save, that's Miroshnichenko. Kucherov is in the box. And now the puck is not on the line. Nelson has it, puts it on the line. Chicago wins the puck. Pinelli, back to Norris. Now Pinelli sees a wall of blue in his way. He'll take the shot and a save. Wound up in the bench. 8 seconds left on the Cizikas penalty. Meanwhile, you still have 38 seconds left on Kucherov's double minor. To the middle, Nelson fires on and a save. Now across Miroshnichenko, offside he goes, and he taps it into the corner. And the penalty is effectively over. It's still on the board for Cizikas, so he's going to stand on the door and just dump in. It's still on the board, even though there's no time left. Face off, and okay, he's out of the box. So now Toronto's on a PK. Oh, the goalie has it. He has to shoot. Ah, save! They couldn't pass it again because they had hit the 5-pass PK limit. So he had to shoot it. He had no choice. Miroshnichenko fires out of bounds. So yeah, they followed the 5-pass PK limit because you can't pass it more than 5 times on a penalty kill. It's against the rules. What do you know? It bounced out. We should have just let that go because it stayed in. 9 seconds left on the Kucherov double minor, and then he can come out. So he's going to get himself set and ready up against the boards. Face-off 1 to the railers. Pinelli fires on a stop, and Toronto should be able... It's not on the line, they say. They're going to get one more shot. Norris on a save. Kucherov comes out of the box. So after all that, nothing happens on the power play or the 2-on-2. Norris drops it back. Pinelli across Cizikas, fires on a save. Rebound, 2 saves by Fedotov. is still alive here. Pinelli goes back across. Cizikas to the middle. Norris missed the shot. They got it back. Pinelli. A save again. Chicago continuing to put the pressure on. And, oh my God, they're in a standstill. Nelson and Norris, they're waiting for it to roll. You got to battle for it. They finally do, and of course it went out of bounds. There have been some funny moments in this game. The offside where Nelson went upside down, the standstill between Norris and Nelson. And of course, we had the scuffle at the end of the second period. That wasn't much more than a couple of pushes and shoves after Kucherov tried to kill Cizikas. I don't know if I can say that on here. That went out of bounds. Shocker. They're going to quickly go. They're going to quickly go. I like that. Hustle mentality. Pinelli fires, missed the net wide. Nelson over to Kucherov. Fires, couldn't get it through Cizikas. Now Pinelli, save. Got it back. He'll try again. That one was deflecting high. They only get one shot on goal. Now Norris turns around and hits the post. Rebound sent his own goalie down, but he's lucky that the puck went out of bounds. He is lucky. 2-2, 2:56 to go. It's 1 to Toronto. Nelson, Kucherov. Now Nelson again. Miroshnichenko fires, missed the net. And now Pinelli to Norris. Back to Pinelli. He fires and he scores! The Railers lead for the first time tonight. Pinelli, hat-trick goal. Will the Huskies fall for the second time in a row at home? It could happen, folks. 2:45 to go here in the third. Chicago leading by 1. Pinelli has some really nice goals on the night. Chicago wins the faceoff. Pinelli goes across. Cizikas. He fires, missed the net out of bounds. So Toronto will get a faceoff in their end. He really went for that wrist shot. If he aimed a little lower, he would have hit the net. Across, Kucherov, great reception of the pass and a save. It was a really weak shot. Cizikas to the middle. Now Norris on a save. They get the rebound, and Fedotov made both saves. He's going to look to pass it out to somebody. He's got to get it to someone. It's going to roll away. And he put it on the line. Toronto is awful lucky. Kucherov across, and a shot on. There's another save. Pinelli has it. He's been hot in this game. But this time he gives it up. Cizikas. Across Pinelli. Fires, stop. They get the rebound, 2 saves. Now up ahead. Oh, there's a turnover again. Toronto really sloppy with the puck. And Chicago is really just as sloppy. They can't complete a pass. Now they turn it over. Kucherov up to Nelson. Back to Kucherov. He shoots, a save by Murray. 1:50 to go. Chicago by 1. Kucherov. Across to Miroshnichenko. He fires on a save. He went offside as the puck was going out of bounds. I think they're saying offside. So the faceoff will be on this side of... I think it was going to be in the Chicago zone regardless. And John Cooper calls the timeout. Yes, he does. He had no choice but to. 1:42 to go. Toronto was in a sticky situation last time out against Boston, and they could not work out of it. They're in a sticky situation again, this time against Chicago, a team who is red hot. I believe they've won 3 out of 4. Meanwhile, Toronto is in danger of losing their second straight right here in the confines of Scotiabank Arena. They've broken the huddle. Miroshnichenko and Pinelli on the faceoff. Pinelli won the draw. Chicago turns it over. Miroshnichenko fires, big block by Norris. It went out in Toronto's zone though, so they'll get the faceoff. If I'm Toronto, I'm pulling the goalie with about 1:20 to go, so long as you have possession of the puck. They do win the faceoff. Plays it out to Kucherov. He'll fire from distance and a save again. And they're going to say out of bounds in the neutral side of Toronto's ice. Okay, so interesting call here by the officials. Toronto wins the faceoff anyway. Kucherov across. Miroshnichenko and a save again by Murray. And Chicago is going to pass it around if Pinelli can gain control of the puck. Across to Cizikas. Norris. Pinelli. Now Murray. Cizikas will fire it on a save, and they get it back. But they turn it over. And they're not pulling the goalie, and that was a mistake. Or is it? It's not on the line, they say. Toronto again makes the same mistake they did last time. Down to under a minute. Here's Cizikas. He fires on a stop, and there goes the goaltender. They got the extra skater out there. It's going to be Justin Dowling, apparently. Miroshnichenko, he scores! With the extra skater out, we're tied! I swear it's not scripted. The Huskies tie the game with under a minute. They just find a way. Dowling's gonna get a point. Unbelievable. 45 seconds to go in the period. And now they turn it over. And oh, the puck is rolling around like crazy. Now it's sitting on the line. Kucherov to Nelson. Now Miroshnichenko. He'll fire again and a save. I need to make sure. Is the camera still recording? Oh, it better be. It better still be recording. Good, it is. Alright. This game's been cinema thus far. 35 seconds to go. Face-off won by the Huskies. Miroshnichenko settles it down. Tries to get it up to Nelson. Now does. Drop back Miroshnichenko. He goes across to Kucherov. Kucherov fires, not even close. They're trying to draw up the game-winning play, and if you're either side, you really just got to try and draw something up. Face-off won by the Huskies again. Fedotov, Nelson, Miroshnichenko, and a save by Murray. Railers get the puck. They're going to kill time here. You got to take it to the maximum. Here is Pinelli over the net. Toronto will have a chance with 8 seconds. They'll go across. Miroshnichenko wants to get it back to Kucherov. Their star! He hits the post! Rebound, he missed the net! We're going to overtime in Toronto. This game's already taken quite a bit of time. Why not make it last a little longer? We'll be right back after this. Alright, the teams are switching sides as we come back. Holy cinema. Overtime. For the first time since the return to play. It was here in Toronto when Minnesota and Toronto went overtime in the first game back from the suspension of competition. Holy cow, what a game this has been. It's going to be 4-3 again, I know, but wow. It's been crazy. Now remember the rules. I know it's been a while. So here are the rules. 3 minutes, 3-on-3, sudden death. Next goal wins. If no goal is scored by either side, the game is over. It's over in a tie. Now remember, both teams have gained a point in the standings. So Toronto, as it stands right now, has 24 points while Chicago has 13. If they win this game, Chicago is going to pass Boston in the standings. That would be huge because Chicago currently has the head-to-head on Boston. And also, because they have the same number of regulation wins, they'd have the same number of total wins, but Chicago has them in head-to-head. Toronto would still be in first because they're way ahead of everybody else. So here we go. Overtime, underway, and offside on the draw. Not often you see that. But Norris was offside, and uh-oh, Norris has got to be careful. He's mad. He threw the puck in the net. Oh, that's a penalty. Norris is going to go to the box. He was upset about an earlier offside call, and the officials have had enough. Minor penalty on sportsmanlike conduct in overtime. Craig Berube is not too happy. He's telling Norris, you got to be smart. He's being Matt LaFleur with that statement. A penalty in overtime. If you're an official, you can't make that call. I know he was upset earlier in the game, but he's now gotten himself in trouble. Toronto to the power play for the first time. Just 3 seconds into overtime. Kucherov to Nelson. He fires in a save, and it went out of bounds. A huge spot in this game for the Chicago penalty kill. If they can kill this off, they can put themselves in a great spot to win. Toronto wins the faceoff. Miroshnichenko. Nelson drops it back to him. Across. Kucherov. It's nearly tapped away, but they keep it alive. Nelson. Miroshnichenko fires on and a save. They're not taking nearly enough shots. They go across. Kucherov hit the side of the net. Toronto did not do nearly enough of what they should have done on that power play, and Chicago is going to get to kill the rest of the penalty off. Pinelli will walk up and fire at a save and went out of bounds. Just 2 shots on the power play for the Huskies. They were playing around too much with the puck, so Chicago escapes that. It was a huge call. It didn't turn out to matter as Nelson caught an unsuspecting Murray off guard. Now Kucherov is saving. Oh, there goes the net. Well, that happens all the time in the games. And Murray tried to ring it around. Now it's just going to stay in the corner. Pinelli had a little trouble staying on his feet. Now Pinelli will walk up. They'll send it across. Cizikas! And he duffed it. Kucherov threw it away. They'll try again. Cizikas. Pinelli fires on and a save. And now Miroshnichenko missed the net. Railers keep it alive, but not for long. Nelson. Miroshnichenko across to Kucherov. Here's Nelson. He'll turn and shoot, miss the net. Kucherov rebound turned aside by Matt Murray. 1:41 to go in overtime. Will there be a winner or will there be a tie? We shall find out in the next minute and 40. Cizikas. Oh, he duffed it again. Miroshnichenko up to Nelson. He'll turn and shoot and a save. Rebound missed the net. Now up ahead to Norris. Norris. Cizikas fires, stopped again. Got it back, 2 saves. Now Nelson takes another one to stop. Kucherov gets the rebound. He just controls it. Miroshnichenko hasn't shot it much in the overtime. Here's Nelson, stopped again. Minute and 10 left in overtime. Pinelli across to Cizikas. He'll fire, and he scores! The upset is complete. The Railers win it in overtime. And the Huskies drop their 2nd in a row at home. The Railers move into a playoff spot, I think for the first time all season. They have found something here. They came close to beating them at home, but they get it done on the road. Casey Cizikas has won it with 1:05 to go in overtime. This crowd is stunned. Pinelli, player of the game. Cizikas gets the winner. Another absolutely incredible game. The Railers, hottest team in hockey right now. And if that's how the first game is going to go, I can only imagine how the next one between Boston and Minnesota is going to go. What a game. We're going to cut it here. Thanks so much for watching. Wow, that was fun.